Hello and welcome to one of my videos about how to get started in Elite Dangerous. This is using methods that I've tried and tested many times before, but it reflects the latest changes in patch 3.1.1. The developers are changing things all the time, so I have to keep doing new ones to keep you up to date. There are a few small differences from ones I've done before. Right, first of all, when you download the game, um, you end up with this launcher. Regardless of which version you've got, whether you've got the 64-bit Horizons or the 64-bit Elite Dangerous, or I don't think we'd have the 32-bit anymore, but the base version, just select the base version, whichever one you've got. And the reason is because um, the start point is better in that one. You're not missing out on anything. That's the only thing it affects at the start. You can swap between the two at any time, and so you can get the Horizon stuff whenever you want. But we don't need it for in the first beginning. And when you start in Horizons, you start in a place that's a little bit more tricky to escape from. Whereas this place is dead straightforward, nice and simple, so we can get going very quickly. We're going to earn about 3 million in the first 2 hours, and then I'll leave it to you what you do next. Uh, it involves combat, and you've probably done the combat tutorials and figure out you suck at combat, but don't worry about that. This combat is nothing like that. It's dead simple. Nobody's going to shoot you. You'll just get loads of money for shooting at ships. Right, first thing I've got... Whoop, I select the wrong button. Right, I've got to do a clean save to bring myself to same start as you. Right, so this is absolute new start. This is what you get. So you type in your commander name, whatever you want. Okay, that. Ship name. I'm going to call it the Judge, because I'm going to be passing judgment on the bad guys. So you can call it a ship whatever you want. And then start. Now, you probably haven't set up a private group yet, but open play or solo play. Choose solo play for this because, I mean, it doesn't make a big difference, but you can end up in competition with other people for the same things. Not everybody wants to cooperate. Some people get jealous. So for the beginning, I always start in solo. You got the place to yourself, do what you want to do, and then when you've got yourself sorted, you can switch to open and play along with everybody else. But you know, knowing your luck, what's happened? You start in open, you come straight out the station, and there's a ship there, and he just blows you up for nothing. So that's not a good start to the game. With solo, you won't see other players for a while yet, and all the NPCs, the computer-controlled ships, all follow the rules, so you won't get any trouble with them. Right, so I'm going to go for solo play, and you'll start in the Sidewinder. Just wait for it to load. Sidewinder's very competent ship. I've done triple elites. That's elite in combat, elite in trade, and elite in exploration in the Sidewinder, and it can do anything. So don't be too much of a hurry to upgrade it. Some things it actually does better than other ships. So first thing we do is plot a route to where we're going to go. When you start, it offered you a mission. You saw that pop up in blue. That's where they want you to go, but we're not going to do that. What you do here, click this one here, the one with 3 balls on it, and then type in LTT space 15574. There it is there. Uh, for some reason, I've got a filter on for something else, so you'll have it like this. So it'll appear like this. Just check that it actually says LT 15574. It's not unknown that the wrong box can come up, even though you ask for a system. Sometimes they give you the wrong one. So just check that it is actually the right box you got, and then click this one here, the route symbol. So there you are. It's plotted a route. Difficult to see because the box is in the way, but 1, 2, 3 jumps, and we got enough fuel for that, so we're okay. So I'll exit that. So we're ready to go now. One last thing, what I recommend you do, go to your options and controls, mouse controls, the last one, show mouse widget on. The default is off, so you switch it on. What that does, it puts a dot in the middle of your screen, which is very, very useful when you're at the beginning of the game. Might not make sense to you at the moment, but you'll see in a minute how useful it is. So we're ready to go. When we press the launch button, the launch will be interrupted by the pre-flight checks, but be ready that as soon as you've done the last pre-flight check, the launch will start. So don't forget that you've already pressed the launch key. So here we go, launch, there they are. So you just have to confirm the controls you've got for these things. Left, right, up and down, backwards and forwards. And then your landing gear, your weapons, and target button. As soon as you've done those, there it goes, starting to launch. So we're in an outpost, so we're going to be out in the stars quite quickly. It's easy to get away from here. So here we are. All you do, as soon as the chocks are away, just press your up thrust button. Right, so while we're doing that, we'll have a look at the dashboard. The radar is the main thing in front of you, with the rings on it and those funny white lines and white, dots. To the left of that is a little mini compass radar thing, and that white dot on it is where you need to head for. If it's hollow, it's behind you. If it's solid, it's sort of in front. So it's at the side to us at the moment. So what you do, just roll until it's above you. See the white dot on the top of the circle now. Then just pitch up. There it is. That's where we've got to go. Okay, but we can't do anything until, first of all, we've lifted our landing gear. So we've done that now. And until we're clear of mass lock. So get full throttle. And then whatever button you've got to get 4 pips onto the engines, press that and make sure you go like dead fast and boost. That gets you away from the station very quickly. So you just lift off, landing gear, 4 pips to engines, boost. Right, if you look to the right of the radar, first of all is a hologram of our ship, and then 3 columns. They're your capacitors, and when you move your pips around, I'm doing it now, see those little dots underneath the columns? You need to figure out what buttons do that, because it's quite important. So I've got 4 pips to the engines. Where the other ones are doesn't really matter at the moment. And then to the right of that is the fuel gauge, and then there were 4 little blocks that say mass lock, landing gear, and cargo scoop. The blue mass locked is out now, so we're ready to jump. So you just engage the frame shift drive, and away we go. You need full throttle all the time while you're jumping. Until you jump, that is. So here we go.
4, 3, 2.
Right, as soon as you get to this bit, you can let go of the throttle, put it back to 0, so that, because you've got a lot to think about, and you don't want to go flying straight into the star, because you'll be facing it when you drop out of the jump. There's the star, and if we had throttle on, we'd be accelerating towards it, which we don't really want. Right, so now we're looking at the mini compass again. So I've got to roll till it's above me, and then there it is up there. Now it's just to the edge of the star. Now that dot is now pointing right at it. I'll show you why that's useful. Right, when I give some throttle and start moving forward, did you see that yellow line appear there? That ring around the star there, right where the dot is? So you mustn't go inside it there. You've got to keep that dot outside all the time. So if that destination is round the other side of the star, you have to fly round. As long as you keep that dot outside that yellow line, you'll be fine. Okay, so we're ready to go again. Oh, when you come to jump, if you look at the star on the radar now, you can see an orange ball there. When you first dropped out, it was a big red thing, red-orange. And then as you went past it, it changed to yellow-orange, and then it started to shrink. As soon as it starts to shrink, you're ready to jump. So if you just look back at the video, you'll see that again, but we'll see it at the next jump. So here we go again. Right, so it's full throttle to jump, and now zero throttle, so we don't run into the star again. So this time, oh, we've got one more jump to go. So here we go, I'm full throttle now, keeping that dot outside the thing. On the radar, there's the star gone red-orange, because we're close to it. As I cruise past it, you'll see it go yellow-orange. There it is, just changed yellow-orange. Now it's starting to shrink, so we're ready to go.
Frameshift drive charging.
Right, on the right-hand side it says fuel, and you'll see some of the segments are gone, and there's a blue one. The blue segment is how much fuel we're going to use for this jump. So we're going to end up with 3 segments when we drop out. 3 and a bit. The thin line above that between fuel and the segments is your working fuel tank. That goes down continuously with time, depending on how much power you're using. So it says it's using 1.08 per hour. That's segments per hour. So we can go for a couple of hours yet before we run out of fuel. So I'm just keeping that dot outside of the star and just flying past it. Right, open up your nav panel, and what we're looking for is resource extraction site, high intensity, not conflict zone. Where is it? Conflict zone. There it is, resource extraction site, high. Not hazardous, not that one, and not that one, which is just an ordinary resource extraction site. It's got to be resource extraction site, high. Now on our mini compass thing, the dot's hollow, so it's behind us. So I'll pitch up, and round it goes. There's resource extraction site in front of us. What it is, where it says resource extraction site high, you'll see a distance below that. I've just backed off the throttle a minute. 80 odd light seconds, that's the distance, and underneath that is the time it's going to take to get there at the speed you're going. So you go at full throttle until the timer, where the dot is, says 15 seconds, and then you plant your throttle in the blue zone. I'm just going to have a practice now. So to the right of the radar is a blue section there. Can you see it? If you look on the right of the radar, you see my pointer sort of wiggling. Right in the middle of the blue zone is 75% throttle. You can set a button that gives you 75% throttle, and for me that's it there. So while I've got that set at 75% throttle, I can relax and know that I'm not going to overshoot. So that's why you do it, so that you don't go flying past and have to loop back every time, which you'll find out later. Right, the rings are a flat disc, and you have to come in basically more or less at right angles, or any angle, but not through the rings. If you try and fly through those rings, you crash. So just fly towards, keeping away from the planet as much as you can. So I've just got a slight angle on there, and we just carry on. In a little while the light seconds will change to million meters, and then when we get 1 million meters, we'll get a blue writing that tells us safe disengage. So we disengage our frameshift drive there. So we're down to a million meters now, 16, 15, 14. Timer will stay around about 6 seconds. So here we go, 3, 2, any second now. Just keep flying towards it. They are safe disengage ready. So safe disengage, do it fairly quickly before you crash into the stars. And here we are, we're in the resource extraction site now. And what it is, it's just a load of rocks in the rings of the planet. There's the planet. And it's a flat disk. And when it's time to fly away, you just turn at right angles and go upwards up there somewhere. See where that white sky is, where it's sort of fizzling out, about there. That's about right angles. Right, you'll see some ships on the radar now. Let's have a look at them. So go to your contacts. There's a Vulture. Let's just select it, and then just look at it. Just point at it. Fly towards it. Mark Robertson. Now, if you look at the extreme left-hand side, it says Discord, Vulture, Mark Robertson, Master, Wanted. And then Obambivus Blue Pirate. So when it says Wanted, that's what we're after. So let's see who's shooting him. Federal Security Service, one, and another one. Right, so what we're going to do, we're going to help the feds shoot him. And mysteriously, he won't shoot us. So, what I'm going to do now is put 4 pips to my weapons. If you're a long way away, you can put 4 pips to engines to like catch them up quickly, because you go faster. I'm going to leave those other 2 pips as there, 1 in systems, 1 in engines. That gives me a little bit of speed and a minimal amount of strength to my shield. So get your weapons out. So we're ready to go. Just wait a bit, we'll let him lose his shields first. What's going to happen? More and more feds will turn up, like they're shooting from every angle now. Now we're ready to shoot him. He won't shoot back. Right? When your gimbals are like dancing about like that, it means he's chaffing, but we got him anyway. So we've got 65,000. So that big anaconda there, that's the Federal Security Service. So is that one. They all are. So let's see who else is about. Go down the list. Anyone that says a ship's name, we haven't seen yet. So Asp Scout, there it is there. Just rotate round. Serious security, competent, he's wanted. And he's in a wing of 3. That wing of 3 is important, we can't shoot him yet. So he's with an adder, and the other one will be an adder as well. The 2 wingmates are always the same. So there's the other adder. So he's going to, here go the feds. So they're picking on the Asp first of all. So we're free to shoot him, nobody's going to shoot us back still. You can wait a little bit if you're nervous. But you need to kill them before they go. You won't get all of them. Right. Mysteriously the other 2 go like very quickly. If you are quick, you can get him. Make sure you select the right one. Always look for that red wanted writing. As long as you got that, you're clear to go. He's gone. Just watch, see what they do.
Target destroyed.
They'll go chasing after the next one normally. But nope, so they're done with him. There's a group up there. Use your radar. They're all going off purposefully in this direction. So I don't know whether they've seen somebody over there. But then we go to our panel again. And you see they're all Federal Security Services. We're not interested in this material and canisters at the moment. We're going to make so much money that we'll just carry on what we're doing. We'll worry about all that another time when you need it. So we just cruise around a bit looking for fighting. And what we do is put 4 pips to engines. So we're going to make the maximum speed when we see the fighting. The feds are coming to us at the moment, scanning us. I think we might be bad guys. Just be careful not to bump into them. So there's those 2 big anacondas, just cruising. Sometimes it takes a while to warm up. You know, one time you'll come here and there'll be hardly any ships, and then it gradually gets more and more. Sometimes there's a load all at the beginning and then they fizzle out. Sometimes there's big ships, sometimes there's small ships. And what you can do, if things are going wrong, you know, the feds are shooting each other instead of the bad guys or anything like that, all you do, you can either log out and log back in again, and you'll be still here, but it'll reset the spawn of all the other ships, or you can just fly out and fly back in. At the end of this, we'll fly out and then you see how to do it. It's not very difficult. So you just turn away from the rock belt, boost away. There's some shooting right in the distance. So that's why we had 4 pips to engines, so we can boost and fly at maximum speed. You see it right in the distance. You can't boost again until that column's, the capacitor's full up. There we go, one more, that's it. So, that's done. Usually it's where the firing's converging will be the bad guy. Probably that one. Oh, it's the Fer de Lance. That might be worth something. It seems to be on his own. Yeah, he's on his own. So who's shooting him? Federal Security Services. That's good. So, that's an Asp Scout. That's in there. So same procedures before. 4 pips to your weapons. Maybe 1 to each of the other 2. Chaffing at the moment, so we can't do anything. So maximum throttle to stay. Be careful. They always drift away. They drift out of range if you're not careful. we go. Don't forget to hold your fire when those anacondas cross in front. That happens a lot, so just be careful. Always look around. Stop firing when he's chaffing. Here he comes, boosting past us. So use reverse when he gets behind you like that. Fall backwards and pitch up, and he'll come back in front of you. Don't fly forwards when they've gone over your head. So use your throttle a lot. Don't just leave it in a, you know, some people just leave it 3/4 going forwards because it gives the fastest pitch range. Right, now these ones with names, that means they've passed through our targeting, but not long enough to see who they are. So he's clean, that's Scout. If you look down, dangerous clean. James Lambert, he's got a bounty on him. If I'm looking over the right hand side of that panel now, at the bottom it says bounty 79,000. So those two will probably be having a bundle in a minute. There's all the feds up there. So they're not shooting it. Oh, here we go, they found somebody else to shoot. That one. So it's another asp, but he's wanted. And he's in a wing at 2. But those anacondas will soon see him off. Just watch that one passing, don't shoot yet. That's it's all clear. Going full backwards and stop him pushing instantly. Then see where he's shooting. Look at that one. That's an eagle. Is he wanted? Wait for him wanted, yeah, he's wanted. Let's just see that someone's going to shoot him, because his guns might be stuck. Yeah, be careful. His guns are stuck. So nobody's shooting him. If you shoot him, he'll just turn around and shoot you back. We don't really want that. You only shoot the ones the feds are shooting. So over there was that asp. Somewhere. There's a cobra there now. He's been shooting somebody because he's got no shields left. So he's a good guy. So while we were dealing with that one just now, I reckon that asp that flew over there was having a go at him. Just have a look, see, there's the feds over there. So I've boosted. Now they're shooting more than one, so we don't know who. That's an anaconda. He's an anaconda. Oh, they haven't started shooting each other again. He's an anaconda. Right, that boom might have been his fighter. So what you do with any anaconda or a gunship, go to sub-target, scroll up, there it is, fighter hangar. If he's got a fighter hangar, do not open fire on him. That's one exception. The fighter will shoot you back. They hang around behind you, and then the moment you open fire, they're on you. But I think that boom that just went off was his fighter. But there's also a little ship just where the dot is there. See that square? I think that's his fighter. So we can't shoot. So we wait until the last minute, we get as close as we can. We put 4 pips to shields. Just going closer. When he gets down to less than 20%, we can open fire. Probably 15%. He's not going down that fast. That fighter, you'll see on the radar, there'll be a red ship right on our backside as soon as we start shooting. But with 4 pips to shields, they should hold out long enough. Here we go. Just got him. 0%. His fighter's gone as it was there. If you look just to the above and to the right of where he was when he blew up on the radar, you would have seen the fighter, red fighter, disappear as well. So once the mothership's blown up, the fighter goes with it. So that's the technique for an anaconda or a gunship. You check them to see if they've got the fighter hangar. If they have, then you have to wait and put 4 pips to shields so that you can tank the fighter a little bit while you try and help the feds dispatch the mothership, because it'll shoot you all the time while you're waiting for the mothership to die. So who's about now? another anaconda. Here we go. So just scan it first. Right, now we check its sub-targets. No fighter hangar. So we can join in straight away with that one. So I'm going to put 4 pips to engine, to weapons. Going down. Here we go. So you don't have to go too nuts. Yeah, I'm quite experienced with it, so I know when to shoot and when not to shoot. But don't put yourself at any risk. See that anaconda cross in front of him. Probably this one's going to do the same as well. So you only need to tag them just occasionally like that. See that you can't shoot there, because if you shoot the feds, you'll become wanted. You can do the occasional shot; they don't seem to mind. But if you give them any sustained shots, you'll become wanted, and then they'll all be after you, just like they did for that anaconda. Except for you won't last even a few seconds. So let's just see how much money we got. So 730,000. We'll just do one more. I think this one just come there. Another fair to last. So we'll do that one, or whatever one they take next. So we've got a mainly big ship spawn this time, so we're making money fast. You can just stay here because you're making good money. But I want to show you the next stage. So what you're after ultimately is about 3 million to get yourself a nice exploration sidewinder. They're not showing any interest in him at the moment. They will eventually. They're just turning now. Here we go. So 4 pips to weapons. 1 to each of the other 2. Just follow around. I'm backwards at the moment to keep him in front of me. So don't forget that. It's quite important. I'm backwards again now as it's coming towards me. There we go. So I'm full backwards now, pitching up. There we are, he's right back. I can shoot him. The last place you want ships to be. Whoop, it's just been rammed. So hold fire while he's doing that. It's clear. Boom. Not 150, so we got enough for what we want now. I'll just look just to see. Whoops. I'm pressing the wrong buttons. A federal drop ship. That's quite a big one. It's probably with that adder. Yeah, looks like it is. So he might be worth over 100,000, so, and they're shooting him. He's on his own. But always check that it's the Feds shooting him. That's one at the moment. And if you just look at him, it says Federal Security Service, so it's okay. And then all the others will join in. Here come the anacondas. Once they come, he won't last very long. So as you notice, nobody's shot us. It can happen. Sometimes you stray into the fire, you know, when somebody else is fire, you get in the way. So you'll see under fire, or you can get the warning. There's nothing to worry about. Once a ship did shoot me. That's out about 15 times doing it. So I'm full reverse now to get back in front of me. Come on. Good. That's a little bit about 100,000. So right, that's it. No more ships now. So there's the asteroid, the like the rings, like the rock belt. So just point up into the sky. There's that white sky I mentioned before. Just put your guns away, boost up, 4 pips to engines, get another boost as soon as you can. So it's not the middle of that white sky, it's sort of where it's fizzling out. So as soon as that capacitor's filled, well, we're clear of mass lock now, so engage the frame shift drive.
4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
Right, keep your full throttle flying up in that direction. Open up your nav panel. And what we're looking for is Haxel port. There it is. 91.9 light seconds away. So lock destination. Now, you'll see the dot is behind us and up to the right. So we can have a look at it. But we don't want to fly past the planet, the middle of the rings. So that's okay, we're flying outwards of the rings. That's the edge of the rings there. So we're flying away from the planet, which is what we want. Don't fly sort of across the planet, around it sort of, because it'll slow you right down. So now we have the same rule as before. When that gets to 15 seconds, the timer, we go put the throttle in the blue zone. And if you look to the left of the radar and the mini radar is a hologram of the station. The round blob end, the big blob end, is where you go in, right at the end. So what I'm doing, I'm just going down a little bit to loop round and come in from that direction. So I'm just pointing below it a bit. And as I sort of point up, you'll see it sort of straighten up. So 15 seconds, so now in the blue zone. I'll just gradually loop round. I won't overshoot as long as that throttle's in the blue zone. There we go. So I'm just watching the hologram. And now I'm pointing more or less directly at it, so I just fly straight now. But mysteriously, when you roll, it starts pointing away from you. I don't know how it knows that you're rolling to do that. So if I just put it about there, it should straighten up again. So you've got down to a million meters now, 17, 16, 15. Yeah, so if you, oh sorry, this will go at 8 millimeters, this station. Most places it's 1 million meters, but for some reason some things it's 8. Right, single boost towards the station, full throttle, and then bring up your contacts. And by the time you've done that, you're within 7.5 kilometers, so you can ask for docking permission. Docking request, so it's contacts, axle port, request docking, enter, and then just line up with the slot. Now, the slot's got two sides, a red side there and a green side there, and you fly in the green side with the green on the right. So just roll round until it's on the right. The reason you do that is because that's the way the docking computer does it, and if you stick with that convention, you'll learn where all the landing pads are quite quickly, because they're all over the place inside. If you come in different sides, different directions, you'll get mixed up if you're not careful. Right, now you probably might have seen where the landing pad was, but I'll show you the trick to find it when you don't know where it is. Right? I'm just pointing my dot right at the end of the station, so I'm right on the axis line of the middle of the station. Right, the dot on the mini radar is now pointing to the landing pad. So what I'm going to do is just roll round until it's underneath me. So there it is. It's on the vertical diagonal of the circle for the mini radar, and you see it's just hollow. If I go backwards, right, I go backwards until it just changes from, there you go, now it's solid. So now the landing pad is directly below me. So I just have to go, put your landing gear down, and then just go straight down. I'm looking at that mini radar, keeping that dot directly underneath, on the bottom. There it is, number 16. And now it's just lifting off a bit, so it means it's in front of me. So I'm just going forward a bit to bring it back down again. Down I go again. And we should land right, there you are, you can see where the landing pad is. I'm just going to straighten up a bit. There we go. So we're now in the station, and we can cash in our bounties. Starport services. Contacts. So we got basically 1 million credits. And if you'd have done that start mission, you'd have got 10,000, and it would have taken the same time as that. So you've got a choice. You can either have 10,000 or 1 million, depending what you do. So I would do this. Right. So you can refuel while you're here, not it makes much difference. Right, what we're now going to do is make the ship much better. So don't be in too much of a rush to upgrade ships, as I said before. While you're in this Sidewinder, they won't shoot you back. So it gives you a big advantage. Oops, sorry, I clicked the wrong one. What we want is outfitting. So you go down into the hangar. And what we need to do is make the ship faster and lighter, and we can get better shields while we're at it, just in case we need them. I mean, nobody shot at us, so shields don't really help that much. Right. One thing you don't want to change is your weapons, because these weapons, when you're using these weapons, they won't shoot back at you. Right. So utility mounts, let's have a look there. First thing we want, browse shop, is a kill warrant scanner to get more bounty money. There it is. And you want a... Oh, it's changed. This morning there was a C one there. I think we got enough money. 360,000, that's a lot, isn't it? A B one. C1 is what you want. Why can't we have an A1? Oh, we haven't got enough money. I'm going to put a D in for now and come back if we've got more money. Things do change a little bit. So core internals now. Let's hope they got everything we need. Normally they have everything here. So power plant, browse shop, we want an A. There it is. Maximum power. Exchange. Thrusters, we want A to be as fast as possible. There they are. At least that hasn't changed. Frame shift drive. We're not jumping anywhere yet, so we could keep that one, but we can make our ship a tiny bit faster by fitting a D1 because it's lighter. If you look at this one, 1 ton. The E1, 2.5 tons, and weight has an effect on speed in this ship. So we've got a D1. Life support, same thing. If we go for D, it's lighter. D is always lightest. B is always strongest and heaviest. A is always highest performance. And E is crappiest. C is in the middle if you can't afford a C, an A. So power distributor, we want the best one. That'll charge up those capacitors faster so you can boost more frequently. Oh, and they've nicked the A one. That's a nuisance. So we have to go for a B one. That was there this morning, or last time I was here. And sensors, same thing, lightest possible. So that's a D. Oh no, sorry, tell a lie. We want A to see as far as possible. So the higher the grade, the further you can see things on your radar. Right, so we got those. We ideally would have liked an A power distributor. So we've added a bit extra weight, but it doesn't really make that much difference. So back. And then the optional internals, shield generator we can change. So where are they? Shield generators. And what we want is a D for lightness. As I said, nobody's shooting at us. You know, you could fit a 2C. What's the weight of that? 2.5, 1 ton. I always prefer speed because you can get to the fights quicker and more chance of getting the bounty. So I'm going to buy the 2D. Only makes a minimal amount of difference, but we don't need the cargo wraps. You might as well sell that. It doesn't save you anything, but or get you anything. And the basic discovery is going up. We're going to get a better one later, so let's just leave that for now. Right, so we're now equipped for combat. In the livery, you can add a ship's name if you want, and if you've bought any of the body packs, whatever they call them, paint jobs, you know, you find them in there. So that's it. We're ready to go back. Oh, I did. There was one thing. The kill warrant scanner. Right, I've still got 500,000 left, so I'm going to go back to that kill warrant scanner. And one other thing. The power. We've got 9.6 megawatts, and with our weapons out and everything else, we're only using 7.56. So what we mustn't do is go over 9.6. So browse shop. Kill warrant scanners. B. The C is probably the best one. If it's here next time you come. Buying options, exchange. Right, so we're all right on power still. So let's just have a quick look at power while we're here. So this message will come up telling you to put a kill warrant scanner in a fire group. I'll deal with that in a minute. So let's just have a look at modules first of all. Oops, what's that button?
Week in review. Here are this week's
Oh,
major stories. A
let me switch
series
that
of
back off.
successful operations against the League of Reparation has led to much of the terrorist group being
Okay, I
dismantled.
did it now. That's it. Right. Uh, these are all the modules you've got that you got in outfitting. And if you look at the columns, the important ones are the power one, how much power they're using, and the next one, their priority. And the last one, something you'd be useful later in the game, how much health they've got. You know, if you've been in a battle, you can look back and see whether some of them are going down. Um, so what we need to do is set priorities for things. So basically, all the things that you need for survival and for the correct operation of your ship, you want a priority one. And other things you can make lower priority. So you always need your thrusters to run away and move around or whatever. Kill warrant scans, not important at all. All it's doing is getting you extra money. So it's not essential for survival. So make that a 3. The shield generator, um, you can make a 1 or 2, fairly high priority. Cargo hatch, we're not going to carry any cargo. So by selecting the whole thing with the select button and press it again, it's now, you notice the little square on the left hand side hasn't got a dot in it. So that is now offline. So we're saving 6% power by not having that on. So sensors, we need them as high priority. Power distributor, you need that as high priority. Pulse lasers, um, not so important. We can always run away if they go. So you can leave those at 3 or put them onto 2. Um, life support, I keep it on 1. Frame shift drive, priority 2 maybe. These other ones you can't adjust their priority. And another thing about the priority, the lower the priority they are, the uh, more likely they are to take damage in a fight. So if you've got something you're not using at all, make it very low priority, and that's the one that will absorb all the fire from the bad guys. Next thing, fire groups. Press the wrong button again. Back. I got these sticks I swap round from other ones, and so I haven't got the sort of button pressing as a matter of uh, muscle memory. Right, so the way it works is these columns are your fire groups. That's fire group 1. We've got nothing in fire group 2 at the moment, and we don't need fire group 2. So the weapons have got 1 in them. That means trigger 1. So when I select that box for the kill warrant scanner, it goes 1. I press the select button again, goes to 2. So that's now on trigger 2. So whatever button you've got assigned to the trigger 2 will make the kill warrant scanner go. Right, data link scanner we're not going to use, so don't need anything for that. Um, so that's that. So we're ready to go back now, but for one thing. I'm going to show you a trick with the kill warrant scanner. So if you open up your options, controls, and we'll go to the trigger. It's under weapons. So the primary trigger, which you use to fire your lasers, is there, whatever buttons you've got assigned to it, or keys, if you're using a keyboard. I've got it on button 1 on my joystick. And our secondary fire, it says button 1 on my joystick as well, but that's because I've got 2 identical joysticks, and this screen can't see the difference between them. So I've got joystick 1, button 1, joystick 2, button 1. But if you look here, what you do, you've got a choice to always add a second control if you want. So here, if you just click on that, and if you've got a keyboard, just press the minus key on the extreme right-hand side of the keyboard. There it is, and it'll appear in there. And what that means is when you press that key, the kill warrant's going to go off. Or you can press your secondary trigger, whatever button that is, on your, if you're using a joystick or whatever, it'll go off. So you got a choice. You might think, hang on, why do you want it on the edge of the keyboard? Because you know you don't really hold that down while you're trying to fight ships. But the trick is what you do when you get to the high resource extraction site. Once you drop out there, you put a weight on that key, like a C cell or something like that. You know, a narrow enough battery, but it's not so unstable it's going to fall over. And you just balance it on the key, and then the kill warrant scanner is completely automatic. If you're using a joystick, like a more deluxe one, like a X52, X55, you know, the SciTech ones, they have sliders on and rotational knobs. So when you move those, they stay in position. That also works as a switch that stays on. So you can assign it to that, and then when you get to the resource extraction site, you just slide your slider and leave it there. And then when you go, you slide it back again. And that makes your kill warrant scanner automatic. And that's really handy because it saves wasting time waiting for a kill warrant scan. If you're using fire groups, which a lot of people do, which is, in my opinion, totally stupid, you've got to pull the trigger, wait the 10 seconds for the kill warrant scan to do its job, and only then can you shoot, which wastes a lot of time. And so on the forum, you say, oh, kill warrant scan is a complete waste of time. You know, the time you've waste scanning, you could be shooting. But of course, if you've got it automatic, it's scanning while you're shooting. So, which is what I do. So you get the money for nothing. So remember to apply it, and then back to the game menu and resume. So we've got our new ship now, or our improved ship, and we're going to go back to that resource extraction site and get another 2 million exit. So we don't need to do anything, right? So just launch, and the first thing you'll notice is your ship's now a bit more sprightly, so be ready for it. The power distributor, because it's changed, it's put the pips back 2 to each. So if you want to, you can take the pips off the engine. That makes it more docile because the pips affect the speed. So straight up, and this is where the dot's handy again. Just go up until it's lined up with the slot. So don't use any control other than that, and then just rotate round and out you go. That's really handy when you get a big ship like an Anaconda, because it means you're going straight out the slot. And the Anacondas, you can get stuck if you don't go through exactly flat. So take your landing gear up. There's loads of ships around here. So I'm going to go now 4 pips to engines, just boost away from this slot. So just point somewhere where there's no ships for now, you know, in the general direction of out. And then bring up your nav panel. And we want that resource extraction site high. There it is there. Not destination. Let's see where it is. It's down there. I'm going to go down this time. There it is. Boost again. Mass lock's out. So on with the frame shift drive.
You have the all clear? Take care, Commander.
4, 3,
So
2,
don't forget to fill up the fuel tank before you go. Now we can stay there for hours. You could go back with 10 million this time if you wanted. But I normally go for the 2 million and then try other things. Right, be careful of that timer. It's gone down to 7 seconds. If it went past there, chances are we would overshoot. So throttle in the blue zone, or 75% throttle, same thing. And we're edgeways onto the rings this time, so you've got to go to the side a bit and then come in from underneath. Now it says there which side of the place in front of the planet, so just loop round a bit. As long as you're on 75% throttle or throttle in the blue zone, you won't crash into anything or overshoot. But if you're doing it manually, trying to, you know, it's dead easy to, if you're too late getting the 75% throttle, you go scooting past, you have to come back again. We call it the loop of shame. But there's no shame in it when you're a beginner. But when you're narrating like this, it's dead easy to lose concentration when you're thinking what to say, and then all of a sudden you've gone past it. Right, here we go, we're a million meters now, right down to 1 we want. Just keep pointing at it. Here we go. Boom. Oh, missed it. Why is it not going? Oh, wrong button again. Put it just in time. Right, here we are again. Now, the ship should resolve on the radar a bit quicker this time because we got better sensors. So there's 2 for a start. And another thing you'll notice, so I forgot to mention, is that the feds are now green. So I'm just going to put my weight on the kill warrant scanner. And it brings out your weapons. And now you see the kill warrant scanner on the left side there. And look, as soon as that thing's within range, which is 3.5 kilometers, start scanning. I'm not pressing any buttons or anything, I'm just looking at it. So, because the feds aren't shooting, I can just wait. So he's scanned now, and that's increased his bounty by a lot. So there's one over there in the distance, there he is, an eagle. So this kill warrant scanner's doing its thing by itself. we go. Plop. There's all those ships over there. That's the wanted asp. Another asp. I'm just watching the radar where the Feds are up to. It's another wanted one. He's out of range at the moment. That's it, it's just come in. So the kill warrant scanner's going. Those Feds are in formation at the moment. So we're just waiting. Looks like they're starting to break. If they break formation, they're probably shooting somebody. But yep, there we go. That one. This measly sidewinder. So I'm just boosting over there now with 4 pips to engines. Oh, he's a good guy. That's the one. The bad guy. It's a Cobra. So kill warrant scanner's doing its thing now. Just waiting for wanted. That's it. I'm ready to shoot him now. But I need to make sure the Feds are shooting him, which is easy to see now because they're green. So there you can see there's a green ship shooting him. Another one circling behind. So here we go. Oh, just drops a heat sink, so detargeted it. So he sort of detargets himself. It's not me that did it. I'm going to drop a heat sink. Oops, 4 pips to weapons. Now he's got shield cells. So
Target shields are
that's why his shields came back, but the Feds are too much for him. There he goes. So this one looks like a small ship spawn, but there's lots of Feds and lots of them. So you have to be fairly quick with these ones. But see how that Eagle went already? They will troll you a bit by like, they'll be fighting one side, you get over there and you can't get there in time. So you go rushing over there, and then when you look back, they're all fighting where you just came from. So, but that's how it is. Just take your time, don't panic is the thing. There's that asp. What you could do, just keep him targeted, and then watch what the Feds do. So while he's targeted, you can see on his hologram on the left of the radar, you can see his 3 rings of shields. If mysteriously one ring starts disappearing, you know somebody's shooting him behind you. So there's a bunch just up above there. Let's have a look what they're up to. So there's another, I reckon that's a wanted one. There they go, they're right over there. So boost over there, 4 pips. And then as we're boosting, they'll be getting that asp behind us. So I'm keeping him targeted for now. So what's going on over here? Have they finished? A few ships flying around. That asp's still targeted behind me. Messing us about. Quite often it starts off like this and then sort of settles down after a bit. You just have to keep looking, keep your 4 pips to your engines, but be careful not to fly into any rocks. It does dent your shields a little bit. So that big anaconda there is eyeing him up, so it's only a matter of time now. There's 2, that one and that one. Oh, it's a vulture. He's a federal agent. No, they've lost interest. Now they're going to scan me. Oops, what was that? Can you see something? There we go. Just wait for the red bricks. Probably won't get hit in time. So fall backwards and pitch up. Wait for the red writing. That's it. We can shoot him now. So the kill warrant scanner's going while I'm shooting. You'll see. Already.
target destroyed.
Oh, we've been promoted. So there's a lot of Feds here, which does make it tricky. There's that asp again, because you never know who they're going to go for. What's that sitting there? Oh, should have targeted it. Wait for the red writing that says wanted. They're free to go. Right, when you get a rock like this, what you can do, just use your down thruster as you sort of fly towards it and you go round it. So he's clean. That's a good combat tactic on ships. It keeps you behind them the same way. So that's the Vulture. It's interesting, he's not green, he's from a different faction. He's a power play one. So, nobody to shoot at the moment. So, we go over this way. So basically it's the same as before. So the only thing you have to remember is that before shooting an Anaconda or a gunship, that you check that whether they've got a fighter. And if they've got a fighter, don't try and shoot them until they're nearly dead. And it's a question of timing. It's quite exciting because if you do it too soon, you get shot at. If you do it too late, you don't get the bounty. There we go. Imperial Eagle.
Target shields offline.
Don't think we'll get there in time. So I can keep boosting. And as soon as you get to 3 kilometers, I can shoot it, but he's gone.
Target destroyed.
So let's see who's here. Not
Scan
him,
detected.
not him. A couple of eagles and a sidewinder. Oh, Imperial Eagle. So quite lean pickings. None of these are worth that much.
Scan detected.
So what you can do is log out and log back in again to get a new spawn. Or you can fly out, fly back in again to get a new spawn. And if you do it enough, eventually there'll be big ships for you to shoot again and make masses of money. But it's weird how it works out. Sometimes you can get like really frequent ships worth, you know, like 60, 70,000, and you make a lot of money from them, you know, because it's every 30 seconds or so. Other times like this, you spend all the time flying around waiting, and if it does it for too long, it won't change. So don't let them troll you. So I'll just show you now how to fly out and fly back in again, because there's not much going on here. Hang on, what's that one there? Imperial Eagle, it's not much. So boost out. There's the end of that white sky. So put your weapons away. So you've got to take the weight off the minus key now, because you can't put your weapons away while that's there. Boost again. As soon as the capacitor's full, keep boosting. Get as far out as you can. Right, that's it. Weapons away. Frameshift drive.
Charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
And what you see there, the bounties slightly different. If you look at your transactions, there's a whole load of different ones from different factions. And that list is going to be really big. So I'll show you later how to deal with that. So just fly out for a bit till you get to 1,000,000 meters out, and then just turn around. So it doesn't take very long. So it's almost as quick as logging, so no need to cheat. There we go, back in again. Put the weight on the minus key. And here we go again. We've just got to wait for the feds to turn up. Let's see who's about now. Cobras and Eagles. That means another small ship spawn. So there's a federal security. So we'll just wait a couple of minutes to see who comes. In case some big ships. Sometimes you get mixed spawns.
Scan detected.
So he's clean. Oh, they're clean. That's a good sign. Because it's the good guys can be small ships as well. Right, something going on over there. Python. That's a good sign. It's a big ship. But you'll notice there's a red shooting it. That's not a Fed, so we can't join in yet. So the Python's wanted. Or the other ship is a Cobra. Whoops. Use your thrusters to miss the rock. Side thruster, like that. Way up and down. Right, so it's a Cobra, a bad guy, shooting a bad guy. But there is a Fed there. There he is. So which one's he going to shoot? So all we got to do, see who he's going to shoot. And that's the one we want. It's probably the Python. So that's it. Yeah, it's shooting him now. So 4 pips to weapons.
Target shields offline.
It's got to reset the kill rate scanning. Put it on the key properly. Don't forget you can't join in until the feds join in if you don't want to be shot at. So this Sidewinder can't do much to the Python. That's the other ships it's killing. It feels like it's shooting.
Target shields online.
Let's fly behind it for a bit. So if I use my down thruster now, it helps bring my ship down behind it. Just in case you don't really want to be at the pointy end, with the pointy end pointing at you. So here he is going to try it now. So I'm just using the down thruster.
Target shields offline.
Right, quite a few feds have turned up now, so it won't last long.
Target destroyed.
Right, there's one yellow ship there. That would be the Cobra, and he's nearly done. So the feds might start on him. Yeah, there they go.
Target shields
We're out of range
online.
now, so I'll just boost over there. Same as before, you can only shoot them
Target shields offline.
when you get within 3 kilometers.
Target destroyed.
Right over there now. 4 pips through engines. What I do, I just spam the boost button, and then as soon as the thing's charged up, to keep looking. As soon as it's ready, it'll go. Must be a big ship there, it's lasting a bit. That's it. Python again. Get there. Yeah. Oh, he's got a mate as well. 3 of them. Four pips to weapons. Or it must be 2 gunships or something, because that was a fighter.
Target shields
Pythons don't have fighters. We'll see what his mates are. He's gone. Right, who else have we got? We got
Target
that one there.
destroyed.
Oh, crates. Yeah, this is new in the game. So one of those crates has got a fighter. We've got to be careful. So I'm going to go 4 pips to systems for this one. Let's get it. It's going that quickly. That's it. Boom.
Target destroyed.
Oh, one more. Boosting over there. Got 4 pips of engines. So there's 2 lots of fighting there. See that? That'll be his fighter. So same as the gunship. You need to wait for a crate. So that's 3 ships. Crates, gunships, and anacondas that you can't shoot until they're nearly dead. So I'm going to go 4 pips to systems, just to make sure. 2 to weapons.
Target shields offline. Scan detected.
Shields are gone. Just keep close. Pray that he doesn't chaff just as you want to start shooting a bit more. Right, here we go. Just in time.
Target destroyed.
So 4 pips to engines. So you've got the idea now. Just more of the same.
Target
No,
destroyed.
I just blew up. I think it was a fed alarms. Right, so we look at the list again as a Python.
Scan detected.
So carry on until you got your. What I usually do is when you look at the transactions, there'd be one that's much higher than the others. Where is it? 104,000, 600,000. There it is there. Bounty Democrats of LTT 15574. Keep an eye on that one. When it gets to about 1.8 million, you're done. You can go back to station.
Frameship charge detected.
So once they've done a frame shift charge, oop, I'm trying to ram me there. I just use my up thruster to avoid it. That's the thing. Here comes another one. Just move to the side. They're not very good at scanning you, some of these ships. They fly straight at you. So there's an ASP scout. So a bit of a mixed spawn this one. There's big and small ships. You'll find it come in waves. So there's something going on now. Where are we? Here we go.
Target shields offline.
2 gone. Let's wait for them
Target
where it
shields
wants it.
offline.
See how quickly they go. Got what it fed.
Target destroyed.
So we got 1. It's a transporter. So transporter's always good guys. He's a good guy. ASP. We don't know what he is yet. Looks like he's a bad guy. And he's with a smaller ship with an adder. So we'll just go for the ASP.
Target shields offline.
Right, here we are back in the station again. Because your ship's a little bit more lively this time, take all your pips off the engines and it will make it much easier to land. So put your landing gear down. Where are we? So it's over there somewhere. 19.
Landing gear deployed.
So with your landing gear down and no pips on the engines, the ship's really slow. So it makes it very easy to position over the landing pad. I'm going to fly this one in more like an aeroplane. Right, there we are. So you'll see now we're roughly 2.5 hours after starting, and I just had my second stint at the resource extraction site with improved ships. So this time I got 3 million. So if I just confirm that. Now in the bank we've got, in total wealth, 1, 2, 3, 4 million. So we've made about 2 million an hour on average, and that's not all of it yet. If we look at our transactions from the kill warrant scanner, we've got all these ones still. So I don't know how much there is. 122,000 there, another 100,000. 1, 2, 3, 4. It must be 750,000 there. 500,000, 750,000. Right. What you do with that to get that, you don't have to do it straight away. You can do it any time. But obviously, if you die with all that, you lose it. So if you open up your galaxy map, and what we're going to do this time is we're going to apply a filter. So this is the one here where the filters are. This is the filter box here. So whatever's showing in that box there, change it to security, because it might be on government or star type or anything, but just scroll down until you see security, and then we want low security, so take off these ones, and any of these green ones now, they should be they're all the low security ones. So let's just take this one. Who's that? Harry T. It's 21 light years. So let's see if I can put one a bit closer. Yeah, what's that one? Menom. It keeps disappearing. 11 light years. It's only one jump away. So we can't look at its system, but we can buy the system map for 605 credits. Well, that's nothing. So we'll have that. Right, as soon as that's gone, change colour. You can have a look at it. And there's a station, and it's only 230 light seconds from the star. So what you're doing this time is you use the same symbol, this one here, because we're jumping from one system to another. If you're navigating within a system, say we were going from there to there, you use this one. Whoop, as it goes, chasing it. This one. So within a system, that's the one that targets it to fly to it. But if you're going from somewhere else, from another system, you click that one. And that'll take you straight to that station. Well, when you jump, you come at the star, and then you'll see it on your mini compass. You fly around, go to the station. Well, let's just check. When I go on the information here, yeah, I've got the station settled. There it is there. Interstellar factors shows. So you go into station, pull up your contacts, and when you see contacts, you'll see interstellar factor. You go there and it'll take your bounties off you for 25%, and it's worth doing. Don't think you're losing 25%, just think you're gaining the 75% of it. So that's how you get the other bounties. So now you have a choice. You can now upgrade your ship to a Viper in the shipyard. I think they've got Vipers here. Let's just have a look. Eagle Hauler, Adder, Diamondback. No, there's no Viper here. So you have to find out where they've got a Viper, other systems. There's you have to use offline tools to find out where ships are. There's a thing called ED. Let me find it, see if it comes up on here. Yeah. eddb.io/station. So you can see here, just put the ship type you're looking in there, Sidewind, Viper, and put your references and where you are, LTT 15574. There it is there. And then find stations. And all these stations here have a Viper. So just go there. That one's only one jump away. So it's 7.9 light years, and the station's quite near. It's possible that that interstellar factor place will have one as well. It's not showing there, but never know. Yeah, so you can carry on doing this combat, get a Viper, and then start practicing shooting ships, that are going to shoot back at you without waiting for the feds to join in. And then after a Viper, you get a Vulture, and then maybe an FDL or a Federal Assault Ship afterwards. That's one route of going. Work your way up to Python.